Good day, class. I'm Mark, and this is Gonzo, and today we're talking about dragons.
Today we're talking about dragons, and if you would like to leave us in the comment section below, if you would leave us how you use dragons in your campaign, we'd greatly appreciate it. We're all learning together. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications.
All right, Gonzo. The problem is, like you want to use dragons. This is called Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
But maybe you don't know how to use dragons, or maybe you're a little leery about bringing them in. Is it too soon? Is it a good time? All those things. So how do you go and you use dragons?
Or maybe you're using them too much in your campaign and your players aren't
They're sick of it.
Paying them the respect or whatever,
right.
or sick of it.
Yeah, right. So, if you do, you're right. If you use them a lot, then they kind of lose their sting.
Yeah.
One of the things that's kind of cool about dragons, they have that mystique about them. They have that mystique that, man, they're bad news. You don't want to mess with them. Mm-hmm. I, for one, want to keep that. I want to keep that going as long as possible. I want to hype that. I want them to be afraid of dragons. I don't want them to say, we can totally take a dragon.
Or at least be in awe of them, even if they're benevolent.
Yes.
You want your players to have that feeling like we did in The Hobbit when you first see the dragon with Benedict Cumberbatch's voice come out, and you're like, oh my goodness, You want that same feeling with your players, because it can be pretty epic when your players first come across a dragon.
Right. No, I agree. And so, in order to keep that, so I thought of some ideas, and we'll talk about some ideas of how to use them, and how do you know when to use them, and how you might use them. So, early on, low level, your party's low level. What I would do is you can do a couple things. One, it could be a benefactor. It could be a quest giver. Now, that could be a possibility. Maybe the dragon is an ally, and still, even as an ally, you can show that it's, oh man, dragons are they're pretty big, they're immense, they have an aura of power about them. You could still do that at that. Or if you plan on using them as a big bad evil guy at the end, maybe you show the sheer power of how they are. Maybe you have them and they eat an NPC right in front of them. Like, boom! You're like, whoa! I thought that guy was pretty powerful. He just took them out in one bite.
Or burn a town to the ground, and your players just get out alive or something. So.
Right. So that you could do that and kind of set the tone for, man, those things are bad news. You don't want to face that. So that's one way you could use them as a low level. And go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and in Forgotten Realms, dragons, we basically have in the Monster Manual, you kind of know about the chromatic dragons, which are the metallic ones. And then you have chromatic dragons, which are the colored ones, the red, the blue, the green. And that these are kind of evil in nature, or at least they're very selfish in nature.
Right.
Where the metallic dragons are, more benevolent to people. They're generally trying to keep the balance there.
Yes.
Sometimes they're very good in nature or in their alignment, so they're helping people.
So you can have good dragons or bad dragons. So that good point. So so let's say you wanted to use them as a monster, maybe later on. So low level, if they're going to fight a dragon, which I wouldn't recommend that early on, especially level 1, 2, 3, no way. But maybe 4 or 5.
Level 1, 2, 3. No, wait a minute, Mark.
That's true.
The starter sets each have a dragon.
I don't know that they're actually fighting the dragon at first, second level.
Well,
but
remember what this one is. It's a young dragon.
That's true. So you could use a young dragon, and the younger, maybe lower levels, maybe 4 or 5, maybe. But the nice thing about the monster manuals, we have 3 varieties of dragons. We have the young dragons, we have the adult dragons, we have the ancient dragons, and I think that's pretty wise. And I think they're in there to kind of show that there's a spectrum of it. Like you said in our conversations earlier, that's the vanilla version of these, but they break it into 3, so kind of showing you that here's some ways you could use them. And reserving the ancient dragons for like really rare. And honestly, in general, I would try to keep dragons fairly rare, so as you don't overuse them and they just become pedestrian, no big deal. But at the same time, if you were going to use them, maybe young ones are more prevalent, adults are medium there, and then ancients are super rare.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. Dragons are big targets.
Yeah.
And if and everyone knows they have a lot of treasures and stuff. They have hoards, right? And so they're targets for adventuring parties. So to become ancient, to live for a long time, they would have had to overcome a lot of people coming at them, So
Absolutely.
Yeah, you could see where they would be a lot more rare than these young ones that are super aggressive and all over the place.
Right. So I would say at medium level, if your party's about medium level, say 8 to 10 level, and you've got a party of 5, maybe they could actually tackle an adult dragon if you want to go that way. You could do that. If they're if they're say 10 or 11, now maybe a party of 4 could take an adult dragon, but at those levels, pretty much I would only unleash an adult dragon at them. Later, if you do want to use an ancient dragon, if they were going to kill an ancient dragon, which we have some ideas, maybe that's not what you want to do. But if they were going to do that, then they need to be like level 11 or higher. I mean, they really need to be, because ancient dragons have a lot of tricks. Because like you said, they're used to adventures. They have outlasted a long period of time, so they've got a lot of tricks up their sleeve, and they're pretty tough. And they should be. They should not be a walk in the park. They should be a struggle. And I would personally make sure that if there's going to be a battle with a dragon, they're going to feel like we beat a dragon. It was a tough thing to do if we're going to do that. But what are some other ways we could use dragons?
Well, I guess the main thing is the murder hobo comes out in us. When we talk about anything that's put in front of your players, the main goal generally is to destroy it, to get through it.
Right.
Maybe with the dragon, another way that you could utilize the dragons, whatever level, but not take away some of their mystique, is that the goal could be different.
Yeah.
The goal that what you're dealing with, why you're dealing with the dragon, could be very different. Maybe, like the Hobbit, you're just trying to take something from the horde that your party really needs. Whether it ties into your party's background, or it ties into a quest item that you need to complete some other thing that you're doing. Maybe it's just something that the dragon has, and whatever level your group's going in there, they're going to be quiet. They're going to try to be stealthy. They're going to do a diversion.
Right.
They're going to do whatever they can to not have to battle the dragon. Something else that you could do is probably, Mark, just simply have the players have a way where they can maybe distract or stop the dragon from getting, if they're trying to save somebody or something, you don't have to kill the dragon, but maybe it finally flies off to recover, or it teleports away. This ancient dragon's just not dealing with it. He's not feeling good today. He gives you one last fireball blast, and he's out of here.
No, that's a good point. Ancient dragons, especially if they're in their lair, you do not want to fight them in
Why
their
do they
lair
want to
anyway.
fight to the death when if they see a losing battle for some reason? They're smart. They're intelligent.
Right.
So.
I could see you, like you just say, distracting. You could kite them out of their lair, and one group kites them out and takes them out, and so another group goes in and rescues their fair maiden or something. That's a smart way of using them. And there you don't have to go off killing dragons all the time. And like I said, I would make killing a dragon, I would make that fairly rare. Again, there's just that mystique that you want to keep about them. If they go around just killing dragons, what's going to be the next thing? It's almost like if you play that card, you play that dragon card, and then for them to kill, what are they going to kill next? I mean, that's pretty hard to amp that up. So I would be very sparing, like putting that, an ancient dragon in particular, in that situation. I would try to avoid that if I could.
Yeah, they're almost like a force of nature. You can't stop it, but maybe you can divert it, go around it, or something like that.
So. I think I'm like a couple steps below a god. I mean, even though they have a stat block, probably not a good idea to go try.
But probably the players will want to just kill it.
Absolutely. We can all talk like this, and this is what we desire. But
as a DM, you could try, but your players may just want to destroy it. So it's up to you, depending on the age of the dragon and how much of the mystique you want in your game. For that. I mean, if you're playing the Dragonlance, it's a little different. They kind of cohabitate with people.
Right.
The good dragons are allowed to be ridden by certain.
There's alliances that are made between the good and the bad dragon.
But in Forgotten Realms, which is what we're focusing on, or maybe in your campaign, the way you design it, it is kind of neat to have dragons being, just something that's everyone should have a little bit of all about. So.
Sure, absolutely. And with that,
class dismissed.